AI is changing the way that companies work, and one of the areas where AI is having the biggest impact on companies is marketing. And so here are 3 use cases where you can try and use AI in your marketing, coming from somebody who's been running a software consulting company for the past 3 years. And I use AI in my own marketing, and I've also helped clients build AI tools for their marketing. Now, the most popular use case in our bigger clients with AI has been using it to analyze their marketing data. It's much easier to drive insights using AI because it can consume much more data than any human can in a much shorter period of time. And so then you can ask it questions about how you should allocate your marketing spend when you're trying to make a particular decision. So when you have a particular question about a lead channel or something like that, you can get it to answer very, very quickly rather than having to sort and sift through the data manually yourself. We have built custom dashboards for teams. We've also built custom chatbots trained on their marketing data to answer questions around their marketing, which has been a really popular use case for some companies. This gets more and more powerful as you scale, as you have more and more data to use. We actually built this for a head of marketing at a company that does a couple million a year, and she was spending loads of time on weird pivot tables, but also didn't have the budget to hire a full-time marketing analyst. And so this solution was really nice for her because it saved her a bunch of time, and she didn't need to hire a full-time analyst or consultant to answer her data questions. And so that was really, really useful for her. The second thing where we've found AI to be really useful is in formatting written content. So we actually use AI internally to format our case studies and things like that. And we basically feed it the format of case studies that we like and we've seen from other companies and things. And we train a custom version of ChatGPT, to replicate that similar format. And then we basically input our case study and we let it ask questions about our case study, and then it outputs a nicely written case study that is according to that format that we want. And based on other companies have been doing business for many, many more years than we have. And so we are learning from them and replicating that format without having to spend the manual hours doing it ourselves. And that has saved us a lot of time. And we're also starting to do this with LinkedIn. So I believe that in general, you want to come up with your own social media ideas, or at least learn from people who are doing it well. But if you just use GPT to generate ideas, generally it's going to create very generic things and you're going to end up with the same content as everybody else. But I think where GPT is really useful is in formatting those things and speeding up that process of getting a hook right and things like that. And so what we've done is actually we've trained a custom GPT on a bunch of high-performing LinkedIn posts and the kinds of channels and creators that we want to emulate. And then we are inputting our ideas into that GPT. So it's learning from those creators and then applying the same format to our own posts. It's not creating the ideas from scratch because we want to make sure that the ideas are ours and original, but it's helping us format way faster. And eventually we could also integrate this with a scheduling tool and some kind of automation so that it can actually schedule things for us. This is a really exciting use case. The third use case is similar to the second one, but it's in scripting things like videos and visuals. We've trained a custom GPT on a bunch of video scripts that we like and that are high performing and we want to emulate again. And we also told it a bunch of visual design language that we have in our branding and how to stick to it so that we can correctly edit videos on brand while not having to think of the visuals every single video, which really speeds up the editing process. And so with relatively limited editing resources, we are able to do much higher volume by planning that out better. And that's also a use case that we're actually just starting to use now and I'm pretty excited about. And I think is useful to mention because I think social media content is something a lot of companies are jumping into, but it's a lot of work to create and script and put together visuals for everything. And there are parts where GPT can help, but only if you set it up right. Otherwise, it will create ideas that are a bit useless or hard to do, hard to execute on, in which case it kind of defeats the purpose of the increase in speed. These 3 use cases, I think, have been some of the best ones that I've recently seen. And so I thought to put that together into a video for anybody who's wanting to use more AI in their marketing right now. Anyway, feel free to ask any questions in the comments. I will reply to as many as possible.